Zero. And we're live. What's up, party people? Welcome to Million Dollar Coaches Monday, the show where we break down the simplest way to help you build your $1 million coaching business. I'm your host, Ryan. Of course, if you're new to this community, make sure that you say what's up, you say hello, and you get welcome because again, we keeps everything real, raw, and simple, so you can go out there and build a profitable coaching business. And I truly believe that when you put your head down and do this, anybody can do it. I'm with my amazing co-host today, Lexi. She is our client success director. She is the one responsible for helping all of our clients cash in like it's the last din. So make sure you get connected to Lexi. And I've got one of my best friends on the planet, the amazing Trey Bearor is going to be blessing us today. Guys, let me just give you the Rizzy rundown on Trey, okay? Trey and I met at an event in Dallas, Texas, and this guy is probably the most entertaining person on the internet next to Andrew Tate. So this dude he captivates people. That's what he does. When we started working with Trey, we're going to hear his story, but we started kind of working with him when he was in a transition. We went through the same transition ourselves a few years ago, so it was a really good fit. So you're going to hear from Trey's story. Trey, when he made his transition to real, I would say, coaching and kind of the consulting space, he was able to have an insane month, and he's had some really big months in this space. We're going to break it down because he's done it in a really simple way, right? So if you were excited to hear from Trey today, type in the word "lit" in the comment section because this is going to be a quickie, but it's going to be a quickie litty. Okay, so Trey, give me some background, okay? Because you and I both have a very similar background, and so I want people to hear it from you now.
Yeah, so I was in a network marketing industry for the last decade, and a few different companies, climbed the top to each of them. And there was this one company that I was with that we were at the very top, but unfortunately happened, that company actually closed down. And so everything that we had built, all gone away, had no idea what the hell I was going to do. And then I remembered a couple of different ways I made some income because two things I wanted to happen was, number one, I didn't want this to ever happen again. And number two was like, how the hell can I get some money coming in ASAP? So that's where I looked back at, creating digital courses, digital products, all that stuff. And I was like, screw it, let's just see what I can do. So I ended up launching something, made some good money, some extra cash flow coming in. What I really wanted to do was scale that and have that the number one income right there. So I never had to depend on the network marketing industry. Again, nothing wrong with the industry. There are some things I guess say, but for the most part, very grateful for it and all that stuff. But I wanted something that I had full control over. And so that's what I went all in on. We scaled that one course very well. That was our number one income source. It was more money than I'd ever made. So I just went all in with that. And that's really what I became obsessed with, was helping people create their own cash flow, their own income, something that they had full control over, especially the network marketing leaders who they do have that thought in the back of their head of what if something were to happen. And so it's that good security blanket. That's what I enjoy helping people with, and kind of went all in when I talked with you. We were helping that industry in a different way, but at the beginning of this year, I was like, man, what do I really want to do? What really gets me amped up and excited? And it was, the coaching people through this and helping them create their own cash flow. So that's the origin story, man. That's how I got involved with all of this.
Dude, that's what's up. And like I said, bro, I mean, I feel you, dude. I came out of the network marketing industry, and looking back at the ups and downs of anything that's not yours. I think for anybody that's been in network marketing, or even if you're an affiliate of something, at the end of the day, if your main source of income is coming from something that you don't own, that can be really scary. And the thing that they do in the network marketing space is they really, even for the ones that are making 100 a month, 300 a month, insane amounts of money, they still brainwash you into thinking that you're the owner in some way, right? And at the end of the day, like, dude, if you aren't writing the check, then you're not really the owner, you know?
Yeah, for sure. It's a scary situation that you don't want to be in and you don't want to put your family in, you know, and some people, and it's interesting when we openly started talking about this, it's crazy how many people kind of like come out of shadow being like, dude, I know exactly what you're talking about, like this, you know what I mean?
It's like taboo to talk about, right?
Yeah. And I think what's also interesting is like you come at that level, and Ryan, I know you can understand this. You come at that level where you're like, I wonder if I could create something of my own that's actually new and exciting.
Right.
That, you know what I mean? Like it's not like the same repetitive. Like I gotta reach out to people. I gotta, you know what I mean? Like it's your thing. It's the thing that you control, that you love, you know. And it could be anything. It could be like how to do reels. It could be how to create your own homestead. You know, all these different things that you never would have thought of that you can monetize from.
Right. You know, I think you bring up a really big point that I'm glad you brought up, bro. You can make more money teaching somebody something that you know how to do than you'll ever make actually doing the thing. You know, I had this guy hit me up on TikTok, and he's like selling shoes on StockX, and I was like, dude, you're making like, you know, $3-4 grand a month selling these shoes, but like you understand that you could be making like $100 grand a month teaching people how to sell these shoes. Like another dude hit me up, and he's like, he sells microgreens. So you know, you make the microgreens and you can make them in like a jar, right? And he's like, I'm making like $6 grand a month. I'm like, dude, you could be making like 160 a month just by showing people how to do what you already know how to do. I think what we do is we end up telling ourselves that we don't know how to do something well enough to monetize, you know, and we talk ourselves out of this shit.
Or it becomes just so simply to you that it's not even something special, right? Like it's like second nature, like Trey and his reels, you know, like I feel like you're just a natural dork, so you can do those crazy reels.
But then for the other person, it's like, you know, it's easy for Trey to be like, oh man, like that shit's easy. Who want to learn that shit? But like somebody else is like sweating their balls off, just pressing play, right? And if you can help limit that ball sweat, then you know someone may, you know, they'll pay you for it. You know, like, hey,
1,000%.
Want less, you know, ball sweat while you're doing reels?
Yeah. What's crazy, and I think we should talk about this too, is like when you really get out of your head and you like stop overcomplicating things, you'll be pissed off at how simple the whole thing is and beat yourself in the head being like, why didn't I just do this sooner? You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, I think that also you have to do it afraid though, too, right? Like you just do it afraid and you just get it done. Right.
If there's one thing that's like Trey, if there's one thing that's about Trey is just a doer. You know what I mean? Like, there is no like, oh, let me think about it kind of mentality. Like Trey is just a doer. And so when you look at like just successful people, they do, and then they're like, oh, let me fix it later. I mean, there's like, dude, there's so many things that like we fixed in Trey's stuff, right? But it's not like, oh, let's fix it first and then let's do it. It's like, it's always fix on the go, fix on the go, fix on the go. And like, he's okay with that. And that type of mentality is typically the one that you see like that ends up doing really, really well.
All right, talking about Trey mentality, sorry to interrupt, but something that always stood out to me when we started working with you, like you're like, I am coachable AF. And we have clients that come in like at the very bottom starting off and they don't want to be coachable. But here you are, you've had success. So not only are you a doer, but you're willing to be coachable. And I think that's important to always be open to being a student too.
Yeah. I mean, with what I'm doing now, I mean, it's like I'm starting at the very bottom, very new. I'm not some big guy that's like, there's a lot of big fish out there who are doing something similar to what we're doing, but it's like I'm starting brand new over, and it's like I'm like with reels. I think I kind of suck at reels. TikTok, I think I'm off on them, but it's like I got to go through the stuff, man. Like I got to do it. So it's just part of it, you know.
All right. So talk about your offer, man, because like you went from having like a smaller offer, right? That you were doing pretty well. I mean, you guys had hit like $50K a month with that smaller offer. And then there was this transition to like a Mac Daddy offer. Talk about some of the head shit that kind of went on, or like the transition from like an okay offer, or not to say okay, but a good offer at $500 to $1,000, right?
Mhm.
And then going into that space where you're putting the big boy pants on, hitting that 5, 8, 10,000 mark. What goes through your head when you're transitioning into an offer like that?
Well, the first thing you're always going to say is, will people really pay for this? Are you serious? You know, or like, I can't charge for that. There's no way that people are going to pay that amount of money, you know? And it's so stupid to think like that. And I thought like that until I got like my first few, and I was like, holy shit, people will pay for this, you know? Like, you need that validation. You need your first couple of wins. And then it's like, it's game on, man.
Yeah.
When we created our offer, I didn't have everything in place. I didn't. I was like, I guess we're gonna figure this out on the way, you know. What I wanted to do was I wanted to show people how to create their own digital course, right? And so I put kind of like the curriculum of that in like an academy. But what I was doing while I was building it, okay, like this is while I was building, I was marketing it while I was making it. And so what I did was like I would create like a wait list, and in that wait list, it's sure to get people on there to be like, when this is coming out, right? But I added a couple of things in there, being like, what's the number one thing you want to learn? What's holding you back? And so it's almost like I was getting those answers, and so they were helping me build the course while I was creating it as well.
Right.
And so like when I came out, it was like it's gonna have this in it, this and this in it, and so they knew like, shit, this is exactly what I'm looking for.
Exactly. Dude, yo, that is the most overlooked thing in the world, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I never, dude. Literally, we've done that like pretty much every time we release anything.
Yeah.
If you can get feedback from your people, and then like they tell you something, and then you go back and say, "Hey, I just put this in it." Like, they don't even realize that like I was the one that told you that, because they're always gonna think someone else told you,
right?
And then they're thinking like, "Oh my god, this is exactly what I want."
Yeah. So I made it for it. Yeah.
That's so weird. He's like, he's reading my mind.
Yeah. Well, like, you know, some of the other things. So like I had that like in academy, right? But then I couldn't believe like how much I overthought the coaching aspect of it, because the bulk of all your stuff is like in your course, your academy. The rest of it is just kind of like coaching people through the steps. And if you think about it, the only stuff that you're really going to need is like Zoom. It's freaking free, or you can pay $30 a month for it, and you can literally coach people through each milestone of your course. And I love it because, one, it allows you to think, oh, like, I'm getting this question a lot, I should probably add that into the academy. So you're only making your course, your academy, even better. You're constantly updating with those things. But like, I personally think the biggest struggle that people have and why they get coaching and why they get coaching is because they need that accountability and they need that follow through.
Yeah.
And so like a course is great, but you're not going to get results unless you implement it, right? And so while having a coach help you implement those, you're going to get the results.
Right. Because you can go through any course, but like if you're going through a course and you're actually one of those people that will like take the time and go through the material, not everything is going to be perfect. So what's going to happen? You're going to have questions. You're going to want someone to look up, especially depending on the industry, depending on the niche, of course.
Sure.
But you're going to want a certain level of support, and support takes time, and support takes expertise. And just for you, I know that if someone goes through like, oh, this is like how do you create a course or do this thing? Like, if someone were to go through that on their own, then like, fine, you put a ticket on it for $1,000 and
sure,
walk away. But what you'll typically find where people want more support, they'd rather pay you 5, 6, 7 than pay you 1. You know what I mean? Like, they'd rather say, you know what, like, I know I'm investing 7, then I know I'm not going to go through it on my own because my kids are going to bug me, right?
Yeah.
Like, I'm going through a TikTok ads course right now that, like, case in freaking point, we pay for this TikTok ads membership on a monthly membership, right? And there's courses involved. And every week I'm like, okay, I got to block out 3 hours and go through this course. I would have rather paid the dude that runs that program $5,000 for 4 hours of his time. And they're like, hey, dude, let's run through this. Show me how to do it. Knock it out. That way I can do this thing. Because at the end of the day, I know that if we were charging for TikTok ads, it's $5,000 a month. So here's my thing is like, whatever you feel like your return on investment is on a monthly basis, be willing to invest that on a one time, because that's how we should start looking at like investment math, right? Like if you want to make $10,000 a month, then minimum investment should be $10,000 bucks, right? If your goal is to make 50,000, make 50,000 and make that 50,000 investment. The crazy part is you can go out and make 50, 75, 100K and not have to make those investments. They never add up. You know what I mean? They just don't. So no, I mean I love what you got going on. So at the end of the day, bro, because I know we're at our quickie mark. You kept that shit really simple, dude. You basically built your audience, you connected with them, and then you basically monetized by showing them exactly, like just giving them what they want.
Yeah. Like I think the biggest part when you're creating your offer is just like listening to what your audience wants. And so I kept hearing like, the shit's techie, right? And I was like, well, how can I make the tech easier for them? And I was like, aha, I know exactly what I can do. I can do all this tech stuff for them. And so that's like part of the offer, right? And so I think if you just listen to what your audience is saying, what it's like, what's stopping them from getting going, add that into your offer as far as like part of a bonus or something that you can do as a service, something that's going to help them get that result. And I think that's why our offer is so sexy, is because we listen to what the hell is stopping people and create stuff around that.
So let me add this, and then we'll wrap it up. What Trey's saying here is, if you're a good spouse, then you can create a good offer. Because here's the deal: if you've got kids, then everyone here has created a grand slam offer. Why? Because you've gone out and you've tried to make the best Christmas ever. You've tried to make the best birthday ever. You've tried to make the happiest spouse ever. You've tried to do something for somebody else that is grand slam. It's amazing. Lights up their world, right? Trey basically did that for his audience. He listened and then he said, I'm going to go out and make something. But like some of us, we're so afraid to say like, oh, I don't know how to create a grand slam offer. Just be human. Just be the same person that makes you a good spouse or a good parent. Like, go be that for your potential client.
That's true. That's true. I'm not even gonna like, let me add on to that because I don't need to.
I mean, but I think that also requires you to really know who your who is. Because talking about like you starting reels and just doing it afraid and doing it however, just getting it freaking done is really, you have to hone in and put those blinders on, like you said that at that talk, Ryan, and focus on who you're serving and what those people want and not what the rest of the crowd is saying. Like put the blinders on and focus on your who and listen to what they're saying.
Yeah. So listen, guys, we made this a quickie today. So guys, if you happen to be a network marketer in this group, and you know that you want to create courses, create extra cash flow, that kind of thing, make sure you friend request Trey. Make sure you hit him up. He is your guy because he is a network marketing pro that has really specialized and honed in the market when it comes to helping network marketers go from just network marketer to online coach, course creator, and really digital cash empire creator. So we appreciate you being on, Trey. I know you got a busy day rolling. So make sure that make sure you drop a comment, make sure you say thanks to Trey, and let us know how we can help you build your $1 million coaching business too. So you guys have a great day.
Bye guys.